Hello, guys. Welcome to the podcast Knowledge Empowers. With you today, as always, is me, Kat. 안녕하세요. Then we have Baruch.
Hello.
And we have Collage.
Dobré ráno.
So, Kat, actually, we've been through several topics by now. Actually, we've published our 10th video last week. Yeah. And since we went through all of those topics, I wonder, like, what should we do to put that into practice? Like, do you have some tips, tricks that we could implement in our daily lives?
Whew. Okay, so we've shared many tips and tricks of what people can do and apply and try. And it really what it takes is that you go and try. You put that foot in front of you and you try it. So one example, we've said I hope we've said it, when you're angry or upset, don't write emails. Or if you do write them, do not send them. And go for a walk or come back to that email one day later. Guys, just do it. Try it and do it. That's the step number one, because you need to get that experience. What happens, how your body and mind changes if you allow yourself, let's say, one day of not replying, right? But really have that state of mind that you go outside, you relax a little bit, and then you come back and you will reread what you wrote, and then you will rewrite it. That's like one example.
So what if I learn like so many things and I don't know, should I print it and put it on my wall? So I remember what to do, or what would you suggest?
I would maybe go with so you've said, should I print it out? Just write down maybe most relevant tips and tricks we've shared and that you want to try. Prioritize them. Which one is the most important for you right now? And then give yourself a to-do. I'm gonna try it today, or I'm gonna try it tomorrow, and then try it, have that experience, and you will see how that change. It reminds me, we spoke with Baruch yesterday, day before, and I've shared with her my reaction I did towards one person, and I said to Baruch, you have no idea what it means to me that now I automatically react this way, which was in a super polite way, more investigating way, because really thinking 10 years back, my immediate reaction was getting upset, frustrated, and I would just go like, how dare you to treat my friend in this way, etc. Then, of course, was a phase when I reacted politely, but still inside I felt, how dare you to treat my friend like this? But nowadays it's even inside, it comes, maybe something happened. Let me first figure out what happened before I even react. So it took, of course, a time until even innerly I changed it. So that I'm not firstly upset, but actually thinking, what if something happened? And that allowed me, even now, I found out that it wasn't even a mistake of these two ladies. There was a total different mistake or misunderstanding that would actually relate to bad brand harming. Mm-hmm. But the change that happened inside of me is a huge reward to me, huge.
So this is a great story, because I want to ask, like, this is not something I cannot imagine you putting on a wall piece of paper saying, like, don't get upset. Like, how did you manage to come this long way? How did you know how to change, or how did you change? How did you practice this?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna name that person, probably I think we have mentioned that person once, so it's Freck. I think he really influenced me in a way because he was the first leader who never used my own emotions against me. He always saw a potential in me, and he said, I'll help you move forward. I'll help you to grow. But one thing you need to start learning is to work with your emotions and the way you behave. And thanks to all the education I was able to attend or learn either online or face to face, then he was giving me specific tasks where I could practice what I was learning, right? Then from task or small project, he moved me in such a role where I could practice it really on a daily basis, minute by minute. And I knew that if I even want to grow further, I had to make a change. And so when I became the manager, I actually went away from our department where I grew up and went in a totally new business where no one knew me. And that was also good because I was not only responsible for the people, but for the business as well. And once you have also business and responsibilities, you remove literally some of the obstacles that before you were putting a priority on it because you literally have no time for that. And so that allowed me to give more freedom to people, and I had no other chance only to trust people, right? Because they were the one understanding the business. I was brand new in that business, didn't know anything, so I literally had to trust them. They are my SMEs. And I had to focus on how fast I need to learn to understand what we are going to do and how I can help them to actually be even better. And so then, therefore, I understood, okay, they have maybe an issue that a seller is screaming on them, or the seller doesn't understand the job responsibility of my team members. So that's when I interfere, and I had to explain to the sellers why my team members are doing what they are doing because of the protection, blah, 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 blah. And then when I came back to our department as a manager, people really realized and seen how much I've changed, and also that I was not detail focused anymore, but really on their growth and understanding, and really more on the opportunities they could get, etc. It was very liberating for me. Once you and you need to have that experience to, or at least for me, I had to have that experience to realize it and to understood how liberating it is. And the toughest part, and they always tell you if you manager, is to delegate, learn to delegate and delegate. Which was hard because you always think I'm the only one that can do it the best way. I'm the right, but it's not true, because then you make yourself so overly busy that you have no time to focus on anything else, as well as you don't allow others to grow.
And as well, there might be better experts than you doing the job. Yeah.
Exactly. And you need to give others the chance to learn or even practice, because then when you want to move to the position, who is going to take your position? Right? You need to give your expertise or teach your expertise other people so they can grow, and then they can have the opportunity to practice it, so you can then move to elsewhere, and you don't need to be afraid. I remember years back, people were it was a saying, at least here in Slovakia, there are another 10 people waiting on your position, and if you will not promote, I'll fire you, blah blah blah. Guess what?
There is 100.
Find me those 100. Find me one. So no, you need to teach people to get those skills, and so you could move on. Because if you want to then move and be promoted, you can't, because there is no one that is capable to take your job. So delegate, teach others.
Kolach, you've learned a lot in past years. So, do you like to learn from experience as kid does, or do you learn from others? What's your process of putting your theory into practice?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it, like what learning type I am, but I'm mostly probably learning through by doing. So
Are there other learning types? Can you tell us more?
yes, there are, I think, 4 types if I remember well. One of those is like me learning through practice, so by doing. So instead of, imagine it like when you're building the IKEA furniture. I'm the person who doesn't read the tutorial and manual and just go and do it. Then there are those people who read the manual first and then they do it. So they go step by step, like it's official. Then I think that there are people who need to understand how it all fits together. So more of the schematics, and I don't remember the 4th type. You can Google it out. I don't remember. There was something like practical, whatever. I can provide you the link later.
Okay.
I know that I'm mostly being about practical, so the one who needs to see the examples and try it out by myself. So that's, for example, how I learned design thinking. Like I saw that it's there. I've read a PowerPoint presentation and I'm like, okay, so what's the next step? Okay, let's do it.
Can we go back to the story? And guys that are listening to us, it's years back, but and Kolach was like a little baby back then.
That's not possible.
When you've said you gave yourself a task that year you're gonna meet 50 people.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, why did you give yourself such a task?
Mm-hmm.
And I know you exceeded it. So can you take us through why did you give such a task to yourself, and then how did you approach it?
For the why, it was easy because I'm scared of people. I'm scared of disagreements, and I'm scared of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen this nice TED video where the guy was speaking that he aimed for 100 no's, I think, like 100 rejections. And he started with small things like he realized that he doesn't like rejections, and he was like, okay, so let's push myself into. So he developed a program for himself where he will go to people and ask them from the little things to a stupid thing. So he started like, okay, so what's the time? Can you help me with a coin or something like that? And he ended up with request that he went to a doors, knocked there, and asked the owner if he can plant a plant in his garden. Like, can I go into your garden, dig a hole, put there my flower, and plant it there?
Okay.
And what he observed was that people are really inclined to say yes, actually, to you.
Mm-hmm.
He actually planted that herb. He went there. What actually happened was that the first door he knocked on, he was like, no, because we have a dog and he doesn't like plants, so he would dig it up. But I have a neighbor who likes his garden. So go there, knock there, and ask them. And it happened. He was really in someone's garden, in some stranger's garden, digging a hole, putting a plant inside.
Okay, wow.
So after seeing this, I was like, I can do something similar for myself. So to know, I wanted to grow my network and everything like that connected to it. But the most thing is that I wanted to be exposed to rejection. I wanted to be exposed to people, because that's what I dislike the most. I always procrastinate this task if I need to speak to someone and ask them for help. And I don't think that I exceeded because I wanted to meet every week one new person. So there's 52 weeks in a year, and I've met 50 people. 50 new people.
Okay.
So I was 2 people behind, but it was still a nice result. The same like with you and the pictures. You gave yourself this permission to do it, and you said yourself that you will do it.
And did you like write it down that I've met this person and I've asked this question no. So you just did it sort of.
Yep. I did that in more of a mental way.
Mhm.
But to answer also Baruch's questions, like how I learn or how I put things into practice, because that was the other part. So I learn through doing it by practice, by practicing it, or by reading books. So like read the material. But what I do is that after I gain the knowledge, I share it immediately with someone.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I go there, and I like this attitude because once you learn it, I think that it's also in teacher's nature that you learn much more when you need to teach something. So suddenly, if I wanted to give the knowledge to someone else, I needed to know much more about it than just like, oh, I've read this sentence and it's nice, but okay, I've read the article, I've read that. Oh, and then I can speak about it. So also by teaching others is something with how you gain much more knowledge, how you get it done, how you get it into practice.
So simply for me, I'm gonna say "kom jong" means black. Am I going to remember it now?
Yes, basically, as sharing it with others is that's one of the way how to get it. I think there is also this way how to lead the classes behind it. It's called teaching from the back of the room. So again, it's where you empower the students, all your attendees. They're like, okay, so this is the topic, and you prepare it for the others. And the group is self-educating, self-driven in the education.
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
interesting.
I like that one. And you've met 50 people. What was your realization? Because your why was to that you are scared of people, right? So what did you realize anything?
That I'm really scared.
Like, okay, did you get rejections or what was the percentage?
I haven't got any specific rejections, and I didn't think that I've got any specific learning out of it. Mostly what I've learned, or mostly what I've got into, is this. Oh, this is a tough word. It's called systematic desensitization.
Oh, okay.
Desensitized. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you get desensitized.
Exactly that. So
Which means
which means that your body is not reacting in the same level as it was before. So that goes with the bad news, with the good news as well. Like, oh, there is this attack, so suddenly you're like, yeah, so I've done it a million of times, nothing really happened anymore. So you get your brain trained that there is no that much of a risk anymore, and you can do it.
You basically make your senses numb
Yep.
to that stimuli.
Exactly. So
or
that,
basically you don't stir the hormones that would put you in a stress because they are really behaving in a different way. And same is now for me, that by the experience and the training, I've changed the behavior innerly as well, that now I first go and investigate rather than like before I would go, into an really upsetting form, sort of shouting, and I innerly changed it as well. It took years for me, but each of us is different, but excellent. Well, guys, we hope we shared with you enough of how to put it into practice. And like I've said, just do it. Exactly. Just do it. Put that foot in front of you and go step by step. And if you're super scared or afraid, just try one. But you need to try it. You need to get your own experience, and then you will start seeing the results. And we can then learn from every practice, and then try the different. Let us know how it went, or let us know the topic you want us to cover. And with that, I'm gonna say annyeong.
Bye-bye.
bye. Just so you know, this podcast represents our own opinions, experience, and our own ideas. We do not represent any official statement from our employers, and this is not their official channel representing the company.